Hey everyone, this is David from Hologrind. We just got these proof runs of the Dirac Delta. We wanted to kind of take it apart and see what the internals are like. So we've removed most of the screws. We've removed, 5 screws so far from the chassis, and this is using the medium triangular bit from Microtech. So we're going to remove this last little bit, this last screw. All right, take the top cover off. Just wiggle it off a little bit. It's a little snug. All right, so inside you'll see this is a new style mainspring carrier. You'll notice that there are 2 holes here on the main spring bar, and that actually goes into these two slots here are fitted with these prongs here, and that's from the button. And you'll see when you move the button up and down, this moves right here. Now the button now is mounted in place with this screw here, so you don't have to worry about losing that spring under the button anymore. So this is probably a little easier than the other Microtechs, one less part to worry about. And when this is mounted, this just kind of goes on right there, so this matches up. So you can see it's flush here, and when you move the button, the whole thing slides. So that's a new different design for this. And so what we're going to do is we're going to clean this up a bit. So we're just going to clean out this white stuff. It's a little overly done, but this is probably fluorinated grease. It's I get these little capsules here, and what it does is it just kind of dampens the spring sound. So when the spring, when you open and close it, it doesn't have that spring sing to it. It's just a nice dampening sound. It's nice, more like a thud than a vibration. So let's see. So I'm just gonna wipe this out. And when I opened this knife before for the first time, it just didn't sound right. It was a little sluggish, and I think it's because this grease was a little too much. So if you do get one of these proof runs from an authorized dealer, which I always recommend, and if you have this issue where it doesn't sound right, or it's not as responsive, then it's probably because there's just too much of this grease in there. Oh, that's interesting. Look, so they actually made a notch in the front. Oh, that's super interesting. Okay, that's cool. So when you put this on, it actually hooks in, and so you can't pull it off. It's stuck in there. That's awesome. Okay, nice design. It's funny. The Microtech really goes out of their way for these little details that you won't even see it, and it's a nice touch. This down. Now we're gonna put more fluorinated grease on the spring before we close it up, because it does help, but not as much. Put that there. And right now I'm just putting a light bit of oil on the knife, just to have a nice thin layer. And what I'm doing is I'm just putting the oil on the surface, and I'm just wiping it right off. So it should leave a nice thin coat. All right, that should do it. Okay, so don't put it on backwards like I just did, okay? All right, so there's a little notch here. You put it on this way, and it makes it putting together so much easier. All right, let's see. So backwards is bad. Don't do that. Don't be dumb like me. All right. There we go. I'm no longer dumb. All right, we'll put this at the 4 position. We'll put the button at the 4 position so it's easy to match up. And we'll just, oh, we want to put the grease in there. Almost forgot about the grease. So there's a little notch here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a nice bead right there. That's it. That will help with the sound. And now we'll put it back together. All right. And we'll screw it back. All right, now we'll reset the blade and